What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to No Sports Dynasty. I am your host, Andrew Fulbear, and yes, I am yelling at you early in the morning. We are having coffee together. That's right. Little busy for the last couple days. Pretty lady was sick. Tried to help out. Yesterday, cleaned way too much. I literally got most of the stuff done. Still got some stuff to do. Still working on other shows. And I still got to find time to talk to you, my fans out there. So let's get it started. First things first, remember to do me a quick favor. A little like, a little share, a little follow. That would be greatly appreciated, as always. Like, do it. I need you to do it. If you're watching this show on any platform, it's a quick little... And that shows that you love me and that you saw the show. And it also helps you get notified when every time I post a video or anything crazy going on in the sports world. I try to keep you guys updated as much as I possibly can, especially with the trade deadline happening here in NHL in about 6 days. 5 days, actually. And we got the NBA going to be starting up the playoff push here soon. Same with the NHL. We got the Combine happening right now. I know everybody's getting at me being like, Andrew, I need Combine notes. I need to know what players I need to know about. And you know what? That's awesome. I am going to talk about that. But first thing first that we're talking about today. I am not a wrestling fan really at all. Not that I haven't been, not saying I never have, never will, none of that bullshit. I just, it used to like actually hit people. Now you can kind of see it being a little scripted. Even last night, when there's a couple times where I was just like, they're like waiting to get in position. And I get it. They don't want to get hurt. And there's a lot different than what I 1,000% get it. Totally understand. But that being said, they're doing some stuff nowadays that I never thought possible. And that's making me start off a show by talking about John Cena turning heel. Christopher Cole, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, what a great chamber last night. I had it on in the background while I was doing things. And then I had to come over and watch a couple of times. I watched the women's chamber match because who the fuck wouldn't? I watched a bit of the... What the hell was it? That Zayn and Kevin Owens. He was biting his face. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And then, yeah, I did not catch the end of it because I was cleaning. I cleaned till like midnight last night, guys. And because it's getting warm here in Canada. It's nice. And so when I turned it off, it was basically right before the whole Cody Rhodes Rock thing, which I had heard about. Like, tell me your soul, Cody Rhodes, and all this kind of stuff. And in beautiful fashion, because it's in Toronto, and because in Toronto you can actually say things and do things like boo a national anthem. Again, I don't agree with it, but if you buy tickets, guess what? You got the right to do it. So, and if Pat McAfee keeps opening his fucking mouth without actually opening his mouth about his own damn country, then guess what? We're just going to boo louder, buddy. So what ended up happening was Cody Rhodes like, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. Great pop. Great pop. And then all of a sudden, when I turned it on, all of a sudden you see John Cena like give The Rock a look, or The Rock give John Cena a look, and then all hell broke loose. John Cena turns heel. And let me tell you what, again, as a casual watch every so often fan, seeing a moment like that was pretty much equivalent to the Hulk Hogan NWO dropping the leg on Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. And everybody in that, if you've ever watched that video, you can literally hear and see the audience's reaction change as he's going up and his leg is coming up, and you can literally hear everyone go, "What the fuck?" Like that meme out there where he's like, "What? What the fuck?" Shelby, hey brother, I see it. I see you. Thanks for tuning in. And I was just like, I spent a little bit of this morning talking to the pretty lady about wrestling, for crying out loud. I even showed her the videos. She enjoyed it. She was just like, what do you mean, John? What? Turn heel? That doesn't make any sense. And we talked about it. You know, there's going to be a lot of kids, and I really hate to say there's a lot of kids who are at certain hospitals and stuff like that who are going to fucking hate this man. And he knew what he was about to sign up for. Unless he saves himself at WrestleMania, which is probably going to happen, but that's neither here or there. So shout out to the WWE, because I just started talking about you to open up my show. I never thought I'd be talking about wrestling to open up a show. Christopher Gold says, I called most of it. Ooh, see? Like, I also got to give out shout out to Peter Blake, because I believe he was talking about it too. So, like, absolutely insane. It was really cool to see. And man, the emotions knowing this is his last year. And with all this happening too, right? Like, craziness that happened last night. So props to The Rock, props to Cena, props to Cody Rhodes. It's going to be fun to see going forward. All right, let's really get into the nitty gritty here, ladies and gentlemen. We got some stuff to talk about now. The Combine. Okay. Combine's been happening. Last 3 days, you've had all the players basically go through. Yesterday was kind of like your milk and honey of it. You had your skill players, your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, your running backs, all those kind of guys, DBs. They were all doing the 40 testing. They were all doing their medical testing. They were all there at the Combine. And, you know, when I watch the Combine every single year, it's pretty much all the same shit every single year. There's a couple of drills this year that they started telling the players that you're actually being timed. And as you can see, when players think they are getting timed, and that's going to be a plus or minus on their score sheet, they fucking fly, just like they've done at the 40. So the 40 this year, let's start there. No one broke Xavier Worthy's record, not even close if you want to get to the technicals of it. But there was a lot of players that ran in the 4.3s, right even under the 4.35s if you want to get technical. Jacob Parrish, Kansas State, Jalen Lane, Virginia Tech, Chimera Dyke, that's right, from Florida, Caleb Ransaw, all ran 4.35 to 4.33s. And then you got your top five of the running back. Tootin from Virginia Tech ran a 4.32. Thornton Jr., the wide receiver out of Tennessee, ran a 4.3 flat. Same with Darian Porter from Iowa State, ran a 4.3 flat. And your two fastest guys were some of the guys that we all thought were going to be the fastest this year. Matthew Golden ran a 4.29 after they switched after they went back and switched it. It was a 4.30, but it went to a 4.29. And Maxwell Harrison has the fastest time this year at a 4.28, the defensive back out of Kentucky. Apologies. Maxwell Harrison and Matthew Golden definitely ran themselves into a possible scenario where you may have been looking at them at the end of the second round, depending on who you are, right? Like before the combine happened to the third round. This is probably now early day 2 players. Golden is going to get an opportunity more than likely at one of these good teams that are just looking for some speed. If the Chiefs didn't have Xavier Worthy, this would probably be a really good position for him, but they actually have a speedster on the right side, so don't really see that being a good combination. But, you got Baltimore, Buffalo, even the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are kind of okay. Rams could probably use a nice little slot receiver if they're going to keep Mr. Cooper Kupp, when they keep Stafford obviously in-house. I think that's going to be a good mixture there. So he's got a lot of good places that he can go. There's no real misses and places that Golden could go to. Same with Maxwell Harrison. Obviously, God forbid he has to go to, anywhere in, what would that be, the AFC South? I think, is that where the Chiefs and all them play? Because there's just the speed that's in that division is just absolutely incredible. Scott, thank you for tuning in. Listen, Bird had the softest and sure hands. So actually, I was about to get into a little bit about him, because there's the one drill where it's that line drill, like the gauntlet drill, I think, where the ball keeps coming at you from every side. And you used to get these highlights every year where someone will get it in the face. It happened this year. And it sucks watching that for them. But that also being said, if you watch two guys especially do that drill, let's start with Luther Burden just because Scott's here. Luther Burden did it so smooth, and yes, softest hands. There was one where a lot of people are like, I don't know if that's a bobble and he's just masking it. Who cares? If that was in game, he wouldn't be looking to the next pass coming anyway. He'd be in stride catching that ball. So who cares? There's certain things in those drills that we as fans are looking at as possible risks. Like, oh, he dropped the ball when he was doing the gauntlet drill. Again, like I just reiterated, you're not getting 4 different balls thrown to you on one play in the NFL. If you drop that ball, everybody's slowing down because they got to come up with another play and get to the line. That's just the way it is. You're not running down the line waiting for another fucking ball to come at you. No. But Luther Burden had soft hands, great hands. His stock is probably going to stay around the same until everything starts coming out, like the interviews and all that. Because a lot of people were high on some of these wide receivers and now maybe not so much, at least for top 10 picks. But it all depends on what some of those guys are going to do. Like having the 49ers there and them wanting to trade Brandon Ayuk and such just tells me that maybe they want to go with Purcell and like Tetero or Luther Burden or someone of those guys if they can get a offensive lineman in free agency. Now, the other guy on that drill, they're going to use that tape of him doing that drill for the next foreseeable future, is Mason Taylor. Maybe Jason Taylor's son, okay? They showed the line that he was running while catching that ball. And usually what happens is when someone turns sideways, their hip pops out, and so they're going to come off that line a little bit to catch the ball, because that's just inevitably what happens when you catch a ball. You're not usually on the same jetted path that was given to you. Mason Taylor basically ran on that white line and was like, I am a wall with hands, and that ball comes to me, and I push it out. Like, there was the fluidity of Mason Taylor on that drill. And a lot of people are just, they're called, like, it's being touched on. I don't think it's being touched on properly. You got to understand, he is a tight end that was a high-ranked tight end, dropped a little bit because of the year that LSU may have had. That wouldn't have been the best that everybody was calling for. But that dude sat there. That dude had just the surest hands. If you are looking for a poor man's Brock Bowers right now, that is your guy. He looks like Brock Bowers. He's not necessarily as agile, but he's got those hands. And Brock this year almost won Rookie of the Year. So I'm looking at Mason Taylor as one of those guys who might start sneaking in here if Loveland and Warren are gone by, say, pick 20, 21, 22. That might be somebody one of these teams start looking at being like, well, some of these other skill players that I wanted are gone. So let's see what happens. A lot of players also didn't run. But some guys who did run here, we need to bring up two main players that basically we when we do mock drafts could have said, let's just put this guy in here because his name is good and stuff like that. No, these are going to be the household names that you need to be listening for now on draft night. The first foremost, let's just get his name out of the way, Shamar Stewart, the Texas A&M defensive lineman, edge rusher, whatever you want to call him, product of nature. Oh my fucking God. The standing long jump on him was one of, if not the longest that has ever happened of all time. The guy came in with measurables that people are like, oh, and we can add to that? That's kind of cool. Not only his running ability, the bag drills, everything that this guy did, it's fluid. Fluid. My first mock draft, I had him going, where did I have him? All the way to Baltimore at basically, what is that, 26? There's no fucking way this guy's getting to 26 anymore. There is no way Shamar Stewart is going to 26. There's no way he's going past the Bucks. There's no way that he's going past the Broncos, the Chargers. Fuck the Seahawks even. There is no way that guy is dropping anymore. That dude is now in consideration at the latest Atlanta. If Atlanta passes, the Cardinals are like, fuck yeah. What are we even talking about? That guy is a beast. That Cardinals right now are possibly in one of the best spots where you can get a fallen Will Jackson, fallen Shamar Turner, fallen Kenneth Grant. The Falcons and the Cardinals right now are two bird teams that someone's going to eat on draft night. If they don't trade, someone's eating. Someone is eating good on draft night. The other one here that I got, and I don't fucking believe this at all. I have seen the size of this guy for a couple years. We have known of the ability that this guy has for a few years. But to see it actually, open field, to see it without the padding and the game tape and stuff, just to see the fucking freak that this guy was fly. And before I even go there, we're going to go back to these combine results here, okay? Jaden Blue, Jade Barron, those are two of the three. Isaiah Bond. Those are your three really fast guys. Really fast guys from Texas this year. And their measurables, I don't like. Jaden Blue. Let me just click on Jaden Blue here for a second. Let me just take a 5'9", 196 pounds. Okay, that's not bad for a running back. That's not bad for a running back at all. Okay. What are you getting at, Andrew, here? Well, let me just go to Isaiah Bond here for a second because he's 5'11", 180, even a little bit lighter. All right. Okay. I don't understand what you're talking about here, Mr. Faubert. One last one. Let me just throw this guy in here, okay? 5'11", 194 for Jade Barron. Okay? Those guys are light on their feet. Light on their feet. Ran 4.38. A man who sits at 6'3", 220 pounds right now ran on his first attempt a 4.40 flat. On his second attempt, ran a 4.38. Nick Amonwari, the South Carolina safety. The Derwin James comp. Now, what we thought in this draft is it was Malake Starks as the number one safety. Someone in the first round is going to get him, and they're going to love him, and that's done. Plug and play, Antoine Winfield, Buda Baker type. Here's your safety. Pay him in 5 years. Have fun. You're welcome. Now, all of a sudden, we have to sit here as GMs. I'm just thinking I'm a GM here for a second. We have to sit here as GMs and think to ourselves, is our defense good enough for someone like Nick Imamwari to flourish in? And if not, what teams is he good enough to flourish in? And can we prevent him from going to one of those teams that are in our division? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Chiefs don't like playing Derwin James. Raiders definitely don't like playing Derwin James. And fuck the Broncos like playing Derwin James. That whole division hates Derwin James. And the Chargers may not necessarily be the best in that division, but they are up and coming. And having Derwin James already locked into a contract is the best thing that could happen to them. Someone else is getting another one, though. Someone else is going to steal Nick Imanware. It's probably not going to be Baltimore. But think about Detroit for a second. Detroit is literally trying to just build up their defense right now, in hopes that they don't need to have the Ben Johnson and the Aaron Glenn situation that is overlooming this franchise right now for the offseason. And the fact that coordination may not be the same this year and everyone's just panicking like, oh, we're not going to make a play. That defense just needed help. Let them get healthy. Let the line be the line. Let the linebackers maybe go add that in free agency if you can. You can steal a Nick Imanware for the Detroit Lions. What the fuck are we even talking about? You can steal Nick Imanware on Washington? Washington just got Deebo fucking Samuel. Now what happens when they start looking at their defense? Fucking 2 years ago, they had defensive linemen that anybody would be like, please. And they still got 2 of them. And they're even debating getting another. One of those dudes also, by the way, was a snub for the Super Bowl MVP. Washington, like that little gap there, I know it's hard to see. And if you have my mock draft picture, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Or even just any mock draft or the draft orders, if you're sitting there, look where Detroit and Washington are. That is going to be the area where Nick Imanware has started to really be sniffed at. And if you don't want that to fucking happen, Dallas, Green Bay, Minnesota, all that, you're the guys who are going to have to do it. Is he going to go at 17 to Minnesota? Or what was that, 21 to Minnesota? Doubt it. I have some other thoughts about what Minnesota is going to do now. I'll give you a hint. It's a running back. I think that his availability in the 20s, though, becomes quite lucrative. He's 4.38 at 6'3", 220. Only one other person has been able to do that in that type of a body. That's fucking insanity. I want him. Antoine Winfield can do the whole coverage stuff and come down on a safety blitz. This dude can do safety blitzes all day. All day, even though I want Jahad Campbell, but that's a different story. I saw a comment here, Scott. Brady Cook ran a good 40 for a quarterback, and he put a great spin on the ball. I think Brady could go mid-second, maybe to my ramp. So bring that up for a second. Brady Cook did look really good. A couple quarterbacks look decent. The Memphis guy was not bad. Memphis guy looks like he's probably going to be a backup quarterback for a very long time, and that's just kind of like his thing. Might come in for a couple of games, win you a couple games, lose you a couple important ones, your typical backup quarterback stuff. Brady Cook, though, if he's given a proper placement, like the Rams, that would be good. I do, however, think the Rams are probably looking at that Jackson Dart, because if you put Jackson Dart and Matthew Stafford side by side, the throwing metrics might be a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities there because, and a lot of people might say Dylan Gabriel had better ones. Okay, sure. Jackson Dart just seems more as like a mid, this is gonna be hard to explain, but like a mid tier version of Matthew Stafford. If you're looking for someone to come in there who's going to get beat around a few times on the Los Angeles Rams, because it's going to happen when you're a rookie. I'm not saying that their offensive line is like that atrocious. It's pretty good. They got great talent all over the offensive just core, just in general. Your head coach is fucking fantastic. Jackson Dart could come in there and be a really good, proper management quarterback, whereas Stafford has that arm and the no fucks ability that we've seen, even in Detroit. This, though, it seems like Jackson would take a few years because he would try it and it would not work because he'd be throwing it against the wrong corners, the wrong coverage, all that kind of stuff in the first little bit. That's just what that's just my impression. But I think if the Rams had that and you still kept McVay and he didn't do that retirement thing where I still worry that he's going to try and do the retirement thing so he has a shot at Manning. That's just me. But if he doesn't and he likes Jackson and he likes what he can do and he likes the development that he can, that's the guy that I would want to see in the Rams. Like the hair too. You can't tell me that you watched any of that video yesterday and saw Jackson dart and was like, that's a sellable quarterback right there. That is 1,000% a sellable quarterback. To Roman Gabriel. So let's let me go back to my notes here quick. So the droppers, though, I just got 2 real droppers. Tease Johnson, my dude, I needed you to run into the 4.3s. That is not good. You're like, he's 164 pounds and he ran a 4.5, late 4.5 too. That's not good for the Oregon Duck. And it's not taking shots at the Oregon Ducks. I don't hate the Oregon Ducks. It's the fact that, though, Lanning, I want to see as a head coach one day. And I think he's made really good products and stuff, but it just seems as though they're getting most of his products right now are going to get pushed around in the NFL. That's just except for Bucky, because Bucky is fucking amazing. Have you checked out Gabe Taylor, Sean Taylor's brother? He's a ball hawk too. I've actually recently had that up on my notes here, and I'm going to have to start diving into that. Can we let him go to the Commanders, please? That would be cool. That would be really good. The other dropper that I did have, though, was Mr. Quinn Ewers. Yeah, and technically Will Howard, too. A lot of people are giving him the credits that they deserve. Quinn, here's my thing. Quinn was the first ever quarterback to get an NIL deal of $1 million. Quinn was supposed to be we can actually pay these guys because they're going to be a franchise changing. That just fucked up. That just fucked it up. He's a developmental quarterback. You can tell when these guys can go into a situation and actually take it over and become the starters. Me and Alex were just talking about the Minnesota Vikings and the fact that JJ almost took that over from Sam Darnold, even in training camp. And we look what Sam Darnold did anyways because of the injury. So what does that mean for JJ going into this year? Of course, ACLs are way different. You never know what's going to happen. Still wait and see. I still think Minnesota is going to be really, really good. As of right now, I think Minnesota is going to be better than Detroit. I know Alex is going to clip this and use it as one of those materials. And I totally understand. Especially, and here's my thought. Minnesota's sitting there at 21. Ashton Genty's already off the board. Somebody went and they're like, we got Genty. And then Omario and Hampton's name is still available. And they're just like, well, we need a young running back. Why don't we just go get another running back for the next 5 years? Everybody needs a running back. And Omario and Hampton gets to go in there with Aaron Jones for a couple of years. Fuck that. So the other drop, like I was saying, is Quinn and Will. I think one of the reasons, if you watched the combine last night, everybody wanted to see the deep ball drill, and they were even talking about it on the commentary, like, well, why isn't everybody going to do a second one? Because you never do 2 deep balls in a row. Then you would do these corner routes. So they have them do deep balls, and then they actually do what the scouts and the GMs would want you to do, and that's some skilled passing. So they try to do the skilled passing, and Quinn and both Quinn and Will Howard, a little bit more touch on those balls. Soon as that player is making that break, you have to hit them, and they didn't. And that's going to hinder their draft stock incredibly, I think. Because whether the deep balls look good, and I think everybody can see last night that if Dylan Gabriel was the most polished out of all these guys, he would blow them all out of the water. He's a left-hander that can just bomb it like Josh Allen. So that was kind of cool to see. He's not anywhere near ready to take over a franchise right now. So combine was fun to watch. I did it all day yesterday. So the fantasy notes on this for all you Dynasty guys out there. If you got a first round pick this year, you got to start. You got to use that on a tight end or a running back. The depth in fantasy this year for Dynasty on running backs and tight ends is incredible. I'm still in one league where I am rebuilding, and it's basically this year that if I get the right players, I'm in that. I'm back into the rotation of getting in there. We can probably start making a run at it again. But this is the year where if you needed a tight end in your fantasy football for your Dynasty or anything like that, you can go grab one of those guys and let them sit on your bench. You want a running back? Amari and Hampton's probably gone by 3 or 4. But those other guys like Caleb Johnson, Sampson, Judkins now, those are the names that you're going to start hearing a lot more come draft night on the second day, though, more than anything. So now let's talk a little bit of hockey here. Transition into a little hockey talk because we got the trade deadline happening here soon. We've got that's Friday is when it actually goes down. So we, though, I'm just looking at all of the trades that have happened in the last couple of days, like the big one that happened last night in Chicago. So the Blackhawks basically have gotten another first-round pick and Spencer Knight for Seth Jones going to the Panthers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't grab Brady Tkachuk, but the Panthers did grab a player that a lot of people, when they heard the news, was like, fuck, you kidding me? That's a big, nasty player. And not only is he a big, nasty player, he's going to the big, nasty team. He is going to the Panthers. So the Panthers just got a lot better. Extremely better. Their depth at goaltending now is a little bit suspect, and that's totally understandable. But it's a weird one, that's for sure. I'm not too sure on how I feel about it, but I mean, it's probably going to help him. I would only assume that it's going to help him. There was a couple other ones. The Rangers and the Colorado made just a mess of a trade, just basically sending around some pieces and some picks. But there is the talks now because the next couple of days is essentially during the week. A lot of those conversations for major trades you're going to start hearing about probably today. And then while these teams are going off to do these other games, you're going to start, seeing more of the traction go. Especially if you're on Twitter, if you see Elliot Freeman or Pierre LeBrun, any of those guys start talking about trades that are more than likely going to happen, they're on their way. They're just finding out the details of it, which usually means the GMs are just trying to make the picks work, the compensation work, retaining salary so that people can, do other trades later on. So keep your eyes out. But the Panthers already getting a lot better. Red Wings would be nice to get better. Red Wings would be nice to get better if we could make a trade, but I totally understand the situation that we're in. We just lost 2 games in our road to Columbus, who are the team that are currently competing with us for the last playoff spot. So that's always fucking fun. But it's all good. It's all good. All the trades are going to be posting up on NSD, so keep an eye out for those. Stadium series was good. Red Wings lose again. 2 games in a row. I just can't have it. Go Blues. Hey, your Blues are surging, man. Your Blues are surging. Also got to thank a couple of your Blues because if it wasn't for a couple of the Blues players who are Canadian, we wouldn't have won that Force Nations tournament. So, by the way, anybody want to donate to the Andrew wants to get an 11th province American jersey for the Olympics next year. Let me know. Probably going to buy one. I'm going to win some sort of bet here in the next little bit, and we're going to buy one of those sons of bitches. So, last thing I wanted to say, and this is about basketball. The Mavs versus Lakers on Tuesday night was like 107-99. Lakers win. Luka is like, Luka gets his whole team, all that other kind of fun stuff. They made this trade for the future. It's a young player. It attracts other people who want to come in. LeBron is leaving soon. He's too old. We get it. He's 40 years old. Can't blame the guy. not going to sit here and hate on the guy because he's 40 years old. Michael Jordan still made an amazing block when he was 41 or 39 or whatever the fuck it was. This trade that they did is meant to drive in revenue, obviously. It's meant to drive in players and fans, all that kind of stuff. The jersey sales have been insane. But is anybody actually like watching the game? So the older I get, I watch games, but I pay close attention to the other stuff in the game. Like the players, the fans, the owners, and the boxes, and the seats, and the music, and all that other fun stuff. And when Luka was playing the Mavs at what I'm going to still call is the Staples Center, and you can't tell me it's Crypto Arena or whatever. You watch that game, and you look up in the stands, and at first, because of the lighting, I thought it was one of those all-star games, where they kind of darken off a little bit of the areas because the NBA inevitably knows that they have a bad product for the all-star game. I just started looking around, and I'm like, this is Luka versus the Mavs. This is Luka versus his old team. This is the biggest ticket in Los Angeles right now, is it not? And you go on SeatGeek and you do see that the tickets were pretty expensive. But on the other side of it, the flip side of it, it was empty. There was a lot of holes. Now, of course, you're not going to see that necessarily in the main 100 section. That's a given. But there was some seats that I could see that were nobody was in there. And to me, it baffled me for a little bit. I was like, are they playing in Spain? Are they playing in the Clippers arena for a second here? Like, I'm pretty sure it says Crypto Staples somewhere. Why was there not the biggest sellout at that stadium? To me, it doesn't matter what day it was, whether it's a Sunday, midnight game. Doesn't matter if it was a Monday morning rush hour game. If I lived in Los Angeles and you told me Luka was playing against his old team and there was a chance to go watch possible history because it's LeBron James and Luka Doncic, I would have gone. So I'm not going to get political and say it's the cost of everything, the cost of eggs or any of that kind of stuff down in the States, because it's probably not. It could be the taxes in California being at 49%. Who knows? Okay, sure. But the Lakers are still the Lakers. Lakers are always going to be the Lakers. Why was there so many empty seats? So the question now just becomes, if you're watching these Laker games, a typical Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday game, if it's against any other team, the excuses of not having a sellout, sure. But against the Mavs? Against Luka's old team? If Austin Matthews was traded from the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, fuck, that would suck. But if the Las Vegas Golden Knights got Austin Matthews and the Las Vegas Golden Knights had to go fly to Toronto on a Sunday afternoon game, Monday full swing of work, you don't think that Scotia Arena wouldn't be packed to the tit to boo not only the American national anthem, but Mr. Mustache himself? If Jason Tatum, for some odd reason from the Boston Celtics, was traded to the Sacramento Kings, you mean to tell me that on a random Tuesday, If the Sacramento Kings came to Boston, what is that? TD Garden, I believe. Wouldn't be fucking sold out? Jeter gets traded to Pittsburgh. Shohei leaves and goes to the Marlins. If that happened, those games would be the most ridiculous ticket available. No different than the Super Bowl. So is it Luka? Do Laker fans not like the fact that they traded for another superstar? Because it's worked really damn well for them in the past. Is it basketball fatigue? Is it the fact that one of the biggest things in basketball that has come out of there in a long time was this trade? It's not even the Nuggets winning a championship. It's not even Boston winning a championship. It's none of that stuff. It's the Luka trade. And it still couldn't even sell out Lakers Arena. Crypto.com arena. And that just baffles me. That throws me for a loop. So it does pose the question out to you, my fans, the fans of sports in general, because we talk all sports here. The big four, NASCAR included, all that other fun stuff. Why is it that the Lakers couldn't sell out the Mavs game? Because even on betting, that game was available to me a week and a half before it even happened, which is unfathomable. It was advertised to me as if I bet on this game, please. I want you to bet on this game. Really, at the end of the day, I did, and you guys didn't like my payout. So what is the real reason why that game specifically wasn't sold out to the tit? And now you know me, I will admit that I'm wrong. If someone were to show me, like, Andrew, this looks like 98% of the seats all filled out. That's fair. But I saw a couple of those shots where I was like, I got a double 2-0. Like, what? Whoa. This is Lakers Arena? Okay. It's called the Luka Arena soon. St. Louis needs a BB team. St. Louis, Vancouver, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. Give those teams a basketball team. May not necessarily be the biggest markets, but give those basketball teams. And give St. Louis a fucking football team back already. Where will Jack Sawyer go? So Alex actually made a good point to me. Mr. Loosemore said that he's probably, the way that his attitude is, the personality, all that kind of stuff, he is more than likely going to be on the Lions' radar. Is he going to go in the first round of the Lions? Probably not. Will the Lions have to trade up in the second to get him? More than likely. But I could see him going to the Lions. He seems like a Lions type player. Needs a little bit of development, but if you're looking for the hoorah locker guy and who's got talent and ability, that's him. Bring back the St. Louis Hawks. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. If Matthews was traded to Vegas, guaranteed he'd win more playoff series in one season that he's had his entire career with the Leafs. Starred comment of the night. I mean, of the day. Fuck, I keep forgetting that. This is morning time. Morning time. But also, if this ever happened, how many players got to be injured first before it could actually, like, theoretically happen for the playoffs? It's like, honest, Ben, this Four Nations tournament was so good to you. You're like, oh, Hannafin and Shea Theodore and Pietrangelo are all injured. Oh no, I got $14 million cap again. Those Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys back in the day were fire. Even the ones that Memphis is putting out, like with the E02 Vancouver, love them. Love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. Love them to death. Even so, Kim is not a huge, she hates basketball, she hates the sound of it and stuff. She even understands best jerseys ever. like just in general, out of all sporting, she's like basketball jerseys are the best. She loves the Miami Vice jerseys from Miami. The blue and the pink. She loves. I gotta get her actually one of those too. So if anybody knows where I can find those, I'm gonna get her a pair of that. She loves them to death. She loves the Grizzlies though. And it's hard for me to like. I love I guess whatever you call it, the home jerseys, like the full teal one. Love the fuck out of those jerseys with the collar, the brown and the white to like the act, like make it chef's fucking kiss. But even their away one, when they like reverse it where it's white and then it's got love it. Love I think it was the Buffalo Barons or whatever back in the day. They had the baby blue and the white. Those are another one of my favorites. But man, yeah, you know, like some of the, I mean, Raptors, early Raptors days, baby Dino, fuck yeah. I'm just trying to think out loud too of some other like really. I might be the only one. I loved when they were actually a team, the Charlotte Bobcats, with the orange, that silver and white, not off like black. Fucking, I loved it. Wish Charlotte would do something with their fucking team. I love the Hornets, and that's the other one I keep forgetting. The Hornets still, in my opinion, the best jerseys of all time. That's one of the reasons why I got their hat. I saw this thing when I walked into the store and was just like, yeah, no, this is mine. And even Kim is like, this goes with almost everything that you wear. So she loves it. And same with this one. She got me this one. It's got the little green trim and the little Red Wings. These are all like my nice hats. I don't wear these unless we're actually going out. Like if I'm going outside to like play with the kid, I ain't wearing those hats. No, I already ruined my Raptors one, never happening. So probably at least 3 or 4. At least you know that. So can you come in and comment on this show? I mean, that'd be great. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. If you're an actual football player too, you want to come in, buddy? Oh, the early, yeah, where so is that the one where they had the very tiny stripes, like the very, very tiny stripings down, but all of them were different colors, or is that the newer one? Because every iteration of the Hornets jerseys, in my opinion, have just been so good. Even so, I'm not a fan. Kim was watching highlights with me the one time. I was showing her a couple different things. And I think it was Wemby. I think it was a Wemby block or something. And it was when they were playing the Hornets, and the Hornets were in the mint jerseys. I'm not a huge fan of the mint jerseys. I'm not going to lie. Kim was just like, oh, what are those? And I was like, they're mint jerseys. She's like, is that Charlotte? Yep. She's like, fuck yeah. I'm like, really? She's like, fuck yeah. So someone likes them. That's fine. That's totally fine. But yeah, Hornets still, in my opinion, best jerseys without having done anything. You imagine when or if the Hornets ever actually start being good and dominant and actually have those jerseys on, and just how awesome that will look. Oh, and then I think they play in the same division. I'm not, so no, it's opposite. I think where Memphis and Charlotte play East-West, if I'm not mistaken. So, and if they do, could you imagine Charlotte versus Memphis? Memphis uses the Vancouver Grizzlies. Charlotte uses like not the mint ones, but just these ones, and just how the finals would look so good. Oh my God, please. Oh, that would look so good. Yep, the stripes with it. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Oh, those jerseys are so good. So good. I want to get one of those jerseys. I just have the hat. I'm actually looking around at all my stuff, and I have their little mascot and stuff, but that's about it. So, man. So yeah. That's basically the show. Do it in a morning show, because like I said, couldn't have the time to do it this week. We're back on Friday. We're going to probably have mock draft 2.0 now. Since we kind of know some of the players or like, I guess 1.5, we'll call it 1.5, do some crazy trades in there, have a little bit of fun with it. We'll invite Loosemore back on. The other thing. This is still NSD. I still plan on doing the fun stuff that I've done before. So if you are a fan or a content creator and you want to come in and do Jeopardy, if you want to come in and do a show and do any of these mock drafts that I do, this is an open platform. The more people that want to come on here and enjoy themselves, if I had like 3 people reach out to me and say, hey, next Friday, I'll come in and do Jeopardy. Now all of a sudden I'm doing Jeopardy homework all week. Done. You know what I mean? Or if you say, hey, I want to be on the next one, I message you when we get the Jeopardy people ready. So if you want to be on Jeopardy, you want to do mock drafts, you want to pop on, talk sports at any point in time. I do football. I do hockey. I do basketball. I try to do baseball, but I'm not as great as baseball. As you saw, I started the show with wrestling today. Not as big into wrestling, but I still know a little bit. I talk NASCAR. I don't talk Formula One-ish. The UFL, the CFL, like we talk everything that's at least making news in sports. We try to keep it as less political as we can. So much love to everybody today. Thank you for stopping by. Very sorry if your loved ones had to hear me yelling, but you know, like as soon as I wake up, I'm like, good morning. And Kim's like, shut the fuck up. I'm sleeping. And I always apologize. I'm a very loud person, and she's so fucking tired of it. So God bless Kim. God bless you all. And thank you all so much again. Go Battlehawks. Shout out to Scott. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Shelby and everybody else for tuning in today. You guys are what make me want to do shows. So come back next week. I'll be back on Friday. Proper time. Big show. A lot more to talk about. So thank you. Take care now. Bye-bye then. And we'll see you again soon. Ciao.